Hey, it's Brian from Winter Garden Yoga, and this is our first installment of Ask Me Anything. And the question we're going to cover today is, how can I add variety to my yoga? Grab a pen, grab a beverage, and let's do this. Awesome. So the question I got was, how do I add variety to my yoga? And I'll do my best to answer this question from the perspective of a yoga student who wants to add variety to their yoga practice. How can a yoga student add variety to their yoga practice? Okay. Step one is make sure that your fundamentals are solid. Sometimes we seek variety because maybe we're getting bored. We've done triangle pose 10,000 times already. Well, what's next? Before you start thinking about adding poses to your repertoire, I would recommend making sure your fundamental poses are sound. Fundamental poses like triangle, warrior two, mountain pose, things of that nature, because those are the foundational postures that are going to lead to other things such as half moon pose, side angle pose, etc. So make sure your fundamental poses are sound, and then make sure the fundamentals within those poses are sound. So fundamental things such as breathing. Are you breathing in and out through your nose? Are you breathing diaphragmatically? Are you keeping your face like calm, cool, collected? Are you meditating in the poses? 2, are you aligned properly? Now, I try to say aligned properly. I don't want to say aligned correctly because it's going to be a little different for every person. Every person is built differently, so it's hard to say we need a 90-degree angle here and a 180-degree angle there. But are you aligned to the best of your ability? Do you have your structure set up as solid as possible? Are you engaging your muscles as much as you can to keep the pose safe? Number 3, can you get into and out of the poses effortlessly? Do you kind of fall into triangle pose and hold yourself from falling onto the ground, or can you truly use your muscles and your alignment and slowly, with control and precision, get yourself into triangle, hold, breathe, and then slowly, with precision, get yourself out of triangle. No leverage, no momentum. These things take time, and that's the whole point of yoga, that there's no finish line. Is we're always trying to do the best we can with what we've got at any moment. So number 1 for variety, I would strongly urge you to focus on the fundamental postures and the fundamentals within the fundamental postures. Now, very specific ways to add variety. Let's assume that your triangle is solid as a rock. You can do things, really simple things to add variety. Number 1, maybe change the distance between your feet. If you have a habit of just kind of setting your feet, whatever, 4 feet wide, maybe try setting your feet 4.5 feet wide, if you have the physical capacity to do it. Always work within your limitations. But if you just set your feet at 4, how many times can you say feet? If you've got yourself set up where your feet are 4 feet apart all the time, and just out of habit, you've gotten into that habit of setting yourself in this position, there's no rational explanation why, except you just set yourself up this way, try taking your feet a little wider. If you're always setting your feet real wide, bring your feet in a little narrower. And the reason why is because this will work your muscles and your joints and your nervous system in different angles and different leverages. So you'll engage different muscles. It's a way to offset and possibly avoid repetitive stress syndrome type symptoms. It's a way that you can constantly progress and build the pose. Just something as simple as taking your feet a little wider or bringing your feet a little closer can work wonders. Now, we're still speaking in the context of triangle pose, but same thing with warrior two, same thing with side angle pose, etc. Now, in the context of triangle or any other pose, change the angle of your torso. So for example, when you're bending sideways in triangle, maybe stop short of where you normally wind up. Instead of always reaching for the floor, maybe go halfway and use your torso muscles more to brace yourself and hold your skeleton in a good position as it can without disturbing the spine laterally or without hyperextending your low back. Brace yourself so you're as neutral as possible and strong instead of getting dragged down to the earth by gravity. Maybe place a block under your hand, maybe 2 blocks under your hand. So there are subtle little things you can do to explore the different experiences, the different end ranges of your arms, your torso, your legs, etc. And it doesn't take much. A yoga block under your hand, engaging your muscles more, bringing your feet further apart or bringing your feet closer together can really change things in your standing yoga poses. Another thing to add variety to your practice, change the spot where you're practicing in your yoga studio. If you have the habit of always slapping your mat on the ground, the same spot, and it's your space, change your space because you'll get new neural input because you have new surroundings, and that will add variety, that will give you novelty in your practice because it's new. Now, if there's a medical or clinical reason why you keep your spot, okay, that's fine, of course. Maybe that area of the studio is cooler, you need to stay cool. Maybe that side of the studio is warmer and you need to stay warm, whatever. If there's a medical or clinical reason why you need to keep your spot, do that. But something as simple as putting your yoga mat on the other side of the studio can work wonders for variety. Another thing to consider is try a different teacher. Stay true to your school, stay at your yoga studio, but try a different teacher. If your time permits, if your scheduling permits, sometimes taking a beginner's class with a different teacher will give you a different experience because there will be different verbal cueing. They may even add a pose or a warm-up sequence or something that's novel to you. You've never experienced it before because you keep coming to the same teachers over and over and over again. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm an advocate of consistency. This is trying to answer the question, how can I add variety to my yoga? Here's how to do it. If your schedule permits, try a different teacher within your studio. Another way to add variety is try a different class. At Winter Garden Yoga, we teach Yin Yoga, which is a fully passive version of Hatha Yoga. The beginners, intermediate, and power yoga that we teach at our studio is our method of yoga called functional yoga instruction, is completely different than Yin Yoga. So if you've never done a Yin Yoga class, try Yin Yoga. If you've never done an intermediate class, try intermediate. Now this of course is based on schedule, time permitting, and level of ability. If you have physical limitations or clinical limitations, the key is like always, just always do the best you can do. We have an expression at Winter Garden Yoga: don't hurt yourself, but don't cheat yourself. Well, there you have it. Some very simple and practical ways to add variety to your yoga practice. I really want to hear from you, so let me know what you think in the comments. Please like this video if it was helpful, and please share this video if you know anyone who will benefit. And of course, please subscribe to our channel because we'd appreciate it. And if you have a question for me, please post it in the comments below. Go forth and be awesome.